We have 7 stories in total for you guys today. The first story is posted by you/Miss Jerry. The tale of the 12-year friendship ended over $40. I've been friends with this girl for a long time. It's one of those things where we have nothing in common anymore, but we're still friends because of longevity. We met in elementary school. She and I have very different interests. Now, for example, I enjoy paying bills on time, and she enjoys being $40 K in CC debt at 23. And blowing all her money on smoking grass. I ended up doing pretty well for myself. After high school, I graduated, did my master's, and ended up getting a very well-paying job in a highly competitive industry. She is aware that my income is higher than the average person our age, and so whenever we go out to dinner, I spot her. I only see her every couple of months, so I don't really mind just paying for her food. Since she spends a lot of time texting me about how she's behind on bills. Why she suggests to go out to restaurants then is beyond me, but sure. I live in a big city, and she lives in a smaller town about an hour away. Anyways, her birthday was last month. I took her out to dinner and bought her a present beforehand. But for her birthday, she wanted to go clubbing in my big city. She decided to hire a party bus to drive her guests to a club in my city before she even knew what her guest list was, and charge her guests $20 to attend, pitching for it. This number then became $40 per person. Pretty sure she just pulled that figure out of her butt, but okay. Now, when I got the invite, I never said I could make it. I texted her, telling her I might not be able to meet them at the club, because the bus was scheduled to arrive at the club from her city for about 11 p.m., which means we would be out till about 3 a.m. And I had a big meeting at 7 a.m. the next morning. She said okay. After about a day, I told her I wouldn't be able to make it due to work the next morning. The meeting was more extensive than I thought. She was very upset at me and sent me an e-transfer request. I was confused because she said I owed her $40 for a party bus I never even would have been on. It was driving from her city to mine, so if I was even attending, I would have just met them at the club. Apparently this is what she wanted. She was expecting me to get off work at 7 p.m., drive an hour to her city, leave my car there, pay $40 to take the party bus back to my original city, go clubbing, then go back to her city, pick my car up, and drive another hour back home. All while I have work the next morning. Yeah, okay. She told me I was selfish. I could easily afford $40. I should be on the party bus with her. I was an awful friend. I put work above all else. And I'm stingy with my finances. I reminded her I never respect, and even if I did, I live in this city. So why would I pay money just so I could commute back to it? I told her she was being nuts, because there's no way I'd pay any amount to give myself a 2-hour unnecessary commute and go to my meeting hungover with 0 sleep. She told me she assumed I was coming because I knew how much she needed the money right now. Then, maybe don't spend $400 going clubbing. Ick. She blocked me for 2 days and then came back and tried begging again, saying that everyone was bailing, so she needed more people to pitch in law. On to the second story written by you/the Novel 5. Woman expects me to watch her kid whole days for free and has her kid make the appointments. I'm a 20-yo student, self-employed, and work odd hours, so I told my landlady she's free to give my number to anyone in the building who needs a babysitter or tutor for their kids. That's how I met M, entitled Mom. M has a B and C, who are 9, 4, and 1 years old. I will be MN, my name. She asked me to come over for dinner, to meet the kids before I start working, picking them up once every other week, feeding and putting to bed. Okay. I go over there twice to eat with them and play with the youngest. I didn't charge her cause hey, free dinner, but we have agreed to $10 an hour. During my second visit, I was asked to set the table. No, MN has to do it. My babysitter has to do everything I say. The mother did not respond to this, not even a flinch. I was the one to tell her that I'm not her maid and she should listen to her mother, giving her a simple chore. Okay, she did it. Later, M tells me she also needs me to turn off night mode on my phone, so she can call me at night. I told her no, but maybe my roommate can do some night shifts. I doubt it, we both have the same disability, and it's crucial that we get sleep. M proceeds to say she needs one person to always be on the clock, cause it's so traumatic for her kids to switch babysitter. Oh, also I needed to take my Thursday classes next year, just in case she needs me on a Thursday. At this point I told her we need to agree to some hours now, and I am not obligated to work outside of that schedule. I gotta be able to schedule other work and hospital visits, and I am definitely not skipping classes. She agreed. I got all my hours through 2018. On my way out, she complimented my flared jeans and told me she was looking for similar pants for important. I told her they can easily be made from a pair of old jeans. She went on a little rant about how she doesn't have the time, but maybe I could. I said I'll take a paid sewing job. Fast forward to my birthday weekend. 2 weeks ago, the day before my birthday, I received a text from a new number. Hey MN, can I come over today? I asked the mom what's up, and apparently she thought it was completely appropriate to give her 9-year-old my number. She had just decided that on a Saturday, I was completely ready to take in her kid, do a sewing project with her, feed her lunch out of my pocket, and entertain her, and she did not plan on paying. It was part of getting to know her kids. I said the kid can come over if she needs a sitter, but I will charge her for babysitting and lunch, and will continue working. Mother says okay, and she'll tell her kid to come over. Never showed up. It wasn't a huge inconvenience, since I didn't have plans to leave the house, but definitely annoying. 10 p.m. I get a text from the child. I had something better to do today, but I'll be there tomorrow. My response, you cannot come tomorrow. It's my birthday, and I'm having a party. You're excused. WTF. I agreed to do a job during specific hours, not to be your unpaid servant, lady. On to the third story shared by you/person dude 27. I'll require a top-of-the-line MacBook. I interviewed someone for a job on Thursday, and I just can't get the interaction out of my head. Honestly, this guy had no shot at getting hired. We're a niche medical hardware, software company, so most people have a background in medicine, but also no computers. No relevant education. His work experience is on a horse ranch or manual labor, and he wants a computer desk job. How did this guy get through the HR screening? Anyway, he came this far, so I tried to interview with an open mind. I asked him about his background in computers. Oh, everyone knows how to use a computer nowadays. Okay, but are you experienced enough to guide someone through troubleshooting? What do you know about? His answer, not much. I asked him about his experience using the industry standard software. He'd never heard of it, 80% of his job. I asked him about his experience in Excel. Oh, he doesn't use Excel. He's a Mac guy. And then he said the part that really stuck with me. Oh, and I see everyone here uses Dells. I only use Macs. I'll require a MacBook with a touch bar. I don't really feel like learning new software. I laughed it off and explained that, since our software runs on Windows, we do too. I ended the interview and told him our person would reach out to tell him no. That was on Thursday. On Friday, our HR manager sent him an email, simply stating that he was not a good candidate. I have received 4 voicemails since, and my supervisor has 15. Oh wait, now is 17 missed calls. The voicemails explain that we need to talk about what has to offer. TLDR, woefully underqualified candidate. Doesn't know anything about computers, but does know he will require a $3,000 machine. That doesn't even run our software. On to the fourth story shared by you/spectacles test. I'ma need about $5 of that gas you're pumping. So I'm at the gas station, and I see a man with a gas can talking to another man who is at the pump. As I'm getting ready to pump gas, I see the man pumping gas put some gas in his can. The man with the can shakes his hand and thanks him. He then goes to another man at the pump next to me, asks him something. He fills up the can, shakes his hand, thanks him, then comes to me next. He approaches me, makes eye contact, then drops his can at my feet and says, "I'ma need about $5 of that gas you're pumping," and walks away. I ignore him. He comes back, looks in the can, and says I said I needed at least $5. So I tell him, "You need to get the duck out of my face before I pepper spray your sorry butt." He then calls me a tramp, and as he's walking away he says, "You could have at least put in $1, tramp." I've ran out of gas before, so I know it sucks. I would have given him some of my gas had he approached me different, and if I didn't see him go back inside to buy cigarettes. On to the fifth story shared by you/Amanda 5. Married into a CB family. If you think occasionally encountering a CB is bad, try marrying into a family full of them. I made that mistake. My wife came from full-blooded white trash who assumed that since I worked a decent job, I was obligated to cover all their expenses. Example, I came home from work one day and found my wife crying on the phone with her mom. Her mom had called and was needing to $K right away to hire a lawyer, or she was going to lose everything, and my wife convinced me to give it to her. It was about half of the savings we had at the time. Fast forward a week later, I'm on FB and I see my MIL. Her partner and several of my other in-laws have rented a massive condo and are vacationing for a week on the beach. I asked my wife why her mom could afford that but couldn't afford the money for an attorney. She told me that her mom and partner have two bank accounts, one for necessities and one for fun money, and they never pay for necessities, like attorneys, out of their fun money account. That is how they paid for their vacation. I had not gone on vacation for 2 years. This was just one example, but I would get about 3 to 4 demands for money from her family every month. I was relieved the day I signed the divorce papers. On to the 6th story shared by you/peace, love, and pause. Choosing beggars after a house fire. My husband's job was being transferred to another state. We were having to downsize from a 4000 skeek home to a 1500 skeek home in another state. We were about to have a huge yard sale to get rid of the items, furniture, clothes, gym equipment, housewares we couldn't take with us. A friend I've known since kindergarten lost her home due to a fire just before we were ready to advertise our sale. My heart was broken for her and her family. I can't imagine how devastated I'd feel if I lost everything I have. I invited her and her family to come over and get anything we had for sale they might need. All they had to do was choose what they wanted and haul it away. I even offered them a place to hold any furniture they might want until they could find a more permanent storage solution. I really wanted to give as much as I could to help them start over. I should have known something was off when she complained about our conflicting schedules. I worked office hours. My hubby is second shift. Friend worked graveyard shift, and her hubby worked second shift. We ended up taking a day off to accommodate their schedule. When they come to our house, I told her she could have anything that was marked with a post-it note. We'd priced what was for sale that way. She scoffed at the price tags, remarking several times at how high the prices were. I told her she could have, for free, any item with a tag. She went around the house, seemingly displeased at what I had to offer. She seemed offended that my nicer items, the ones I was taking with me, weren't things I would give to her. Like, no, I'm taking my flat-screen TV, an antique bedroom suit with me. She even scoffed at the clothing selection we had marked for sale because they weren't her style. In the end, she only took the treadmill, elliptical, and the piano, saying they would do for now. Seriously. FYI, to clarify, this took place a few years ago. We've had no contact since the FB thank you post. As to why I didn't kick her out, I needed the stuff gone, and she was willing to haul away some really heavy stuff. A definite win for me, especially with the piano, because it needed a ton of TLC. With regard to the piano, I was actually expecting to have to either give it away or having to pay to have it hauled away. If she was trying to make a quick buck, I don't begrudge her for that. As many have pointed out, used gym equipment isn't a big money maker. Plus, she may have needed cash more than stuff. I really don't care about the stuff or the snub. I rest quite easily at night, knowing I tried to do a good deed. On to the 7th story shared by you/gleaming treats. Lady wanted 5-foot-long subs for free. This happened when I was like 18 and still worked at Subway. So it's a little old, but this incident will always stay with me. So I used to work at Subway, and we had this one lady who would come in like once a week and claim that we messed up her order and demand a free sandwich. Since it's fast food, we all know the age-old saying, the customer's always right, in case you didn't know. But I didn't really start to pick up on this happening with her specifically until maybe the 3rd time she did it. So anyways, in the middle of a Sunday lunch rush, this woman comes in and orders 5-footlongs. Fine, great, no biggie, but she was being needlessly complicated with her orders. Like, she would ask for one sandwich, then take it back mid-order and say that she wanted something else. And she did this for every sub. I recognized her at this point, and whilst she was being difficult, she wasn't trying to get anything for free. So whatevs. We ring up her order, take her payment, and she's on her way. 3 days later, whilst I was closing the store with my buddy Pablo, not real name, we get a phone call. Pablo answers. Pablo was on the phone for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and by the time the call ended, I asked him what that was all about. Pablo tells me some lady says that she came in and we got all of her sandwiches wrong, and she wanted free sandwiches to make up for it. Right when he told me that, I already knew who he was talking about, so I asked him what he told her. Well, she wouldn't stop talking, and every time I told her we couldn't do that, she'd just keep insisting. So I told her I'd just pay for it, out of my own pocket. This really pissed me off. Pablo's a bit of a pushover, but our store was also super strict and monitored the cameras hard. And if we didn't give them a good enough reason for giving away free stuff, especially 5 sandwiches, it was automatic termination. I told Pablo to wait in the back when she came, 'cause I was gonna deal with it. Anyways, she comes walking in and looks me in the eyes and automatically knew she was screwed. How to explain it, but you can definitely tell. Her whole demeanor changed once she realized that I knew what was going on, and it was even more obvious when she asked for my buddy and said that he was going to take care of the sandwiches because we messed them up. Ma'am, I was the one who made you those sandwiches on Sunday, and I know we didn't mess them up because you asked us to remake them so many times that I remember specifically asking you if everything was good a few times before we wrapped them up and sold them to you. Yeah, but Pablo said that he was going to comp them. This is ridiculous. You guys messed up my order, so you owe me those free sandwiches. Pablo wasn't here on Sunday, and he wasn't going to comp them. He was going to pay for them out of his own pocket. And I'm not going to let him do that. We didn't mess up your sandwiches. You come in here every single week claiming that we mess up your orders, and I've taken notice of it. I'd be more than happy to make your sandwiches, but they're not going to be free. What do you mean they're not going to be free? I've seen Subways at Valero do a better job than you guys have because you guys always mess up my sandwiches. Screw this place. I'm going to call HQ and get you fired. My husband's a lawyer and we're going to sue you. Okay, ma'am, whatever you got to do, but I'm not giving you a free sandwich. She got really mad and stormed off in her very expensive SUV. This is one of the first experiences with these kinds of people that I ever had, and I couldn't believe how entitled she was. The worst part is, they actually had me on the chopping block the next day, and I got told I was going to get fired over the incident. So I just quit. Then they rehired me 3 months later, and she came in once afterwards, saw me, then promptly never came back. Good riddance. That's it for today, fellow friends. Thanks for watching.